the preview ahead of our clash with Barcelona in the second leg at Old Trafford in the Europa League. If it's as good as last week's encounter, then we're in for a treat. It was a throwback to yesteryear, a thrilling match that whetted the appetite, and I felt a draw was the right result for both teams. Before we go balls deep into the preview, did you know that Liz Truss, remember her ill-fated 45 days in office, was the same amount of time that Brian Clough had, or didn't have, whichever way you look at it, at Derby County. Now I go back to what happened a couple of days ago, as we beat Leicester 3-0 to close the gap, whatever that means, to Arsenal, who currently sit top. I thought it was poor finishing by the Leicester players. They weren't great saves at all by David De Gea. They're saves any professional goalkeeper would make. And if Leicester players had their shooting boots on, it would have been another stuff of nightmares like it was against Brentford last August 2022, 4-0 in Brentford's own backyard. The Brentford Community Stadium, whatever it's called nowadays. So Leicester were very wasteful. Rashford scored 2 goals. I thought the second goal he scored was offside. The officials got that wrong, no more than usual. As night follows day. They just don't know what they're doing, do they? And Rashford now has surpassed all the other goal scoring seasons he's had since bursting on the scene at Man United Football Club when he made his Premier League debut against Arsenal. He's in the form of his life. I don't think it's natural or organic why he's doing what he's doing. I think there's a little bit of jiggery pokery going on there. I do. I don't think it's got anything to do with Benny McCarthy. It's funny, isn't it, doing Nigel Farage, that a couple of weeks ago it was announced that Man United got Liverpool's former doctor. I'll let you all draw your own conclusions. And I also think he's only doing what he's doing because he wants a shiny new contract. Because Aubameyang was scoring loads of goals for Arsenal. He then signed a new contract. He didn't score any. Therefore after. So I would leave the contract for Marcus Rashford to the end of the season. Because we haven't won anything yet. There's still a lot to play for. So let's drop, Rashford needs to drop the arrogance and the cockiness. And he's no difference between the two. Nothing is written in stone yet. Let's wait and see. Win a trophy, then re-evaluate towards the end of the season. Jobs are good. There's no rush him to sign a new contract. There just isn't. So I will leave it for now. I will in a moment talk about the takeover bids, if you can call them that. I'll talk about Spitzer. He should have been sent off. And I'll level you far top reds. If it wasn't a red, it was a yellow. The second half, he got a yellow card. That means he would have missed the cup final regardless. So it should have been 2 yellow cards, 1 in the first half and 1 in the second half. That was a red card all day long, in anybody's language. And if you thought that it wasn't a red card, you are wearing red tinted spectacles. You should get rid of your Ben Mitchell glasses and get some new ones. That's for somebody in particular, by the way, not as a collective. You know? He was bound to rights. Dermot Gallagher said it was a sending off. And Dermot Gallagher doesn't usually go against the grain. He always backs his own. But on this occasion he went, no, it was red card. And he was right. I thought it was disgusting. He shouldn't be in that cup final. You want to hear that on the far top red channel though? Because they don't want to tell the truth, they want to tell their truth. A bit like Harry and Meghan, you could say. Anyway. Let's digress on that one. You know? So Spitzer, lucky. Very lucky guy. And you could tell by his face, his reaction, that he knew he got away with that. Scandalous. Disgraceful. Rashford goal was second. For the second Rashford goal was offside, I felt. Actually, the game changed when Garnacho went off. I thought Garnacho again was absolutely diabolical. He is so arrogant. He thinks he's better than what he is. He's only a star in his own head. No coincidence that we played a million times better when he went off the pitch and Sancho come on in the second half. It makes you think, doesn't it? And yeah, I am actually, I've got a personal vendetta against Garnacho, yeah, I have. Oh well, shame, eh? At least I tell the truth. The actual truth. The voice of reason right here. So, yeah, Garnacho, I hope he doesn't sign that contract. It's still on the table, by the way. I thought Weghorst was absolute pony. What he's still doing at this football club, he's missed sitter after sitter after sitter. One of which was a carbon copy with Martial sitter against Sevilla. Remember that a couple of years ago? While in lockdown, when it was a one-legged Europa League tie. It was shameful. He's so slow, he needs a walking stick in a Zimmer frame. He is not what Man United symbolises. He's not fit for purpose. He reminds me of a black and white Stenson that you see on zebra crossings. He has done nothing. We shouldn't settle for 5th, 6th, 7th choice. We're Man United Football Club. We need to do a hell of a lot better, and the recruitment needs to be a hell of a lot better. So yeah, I don't like him. I don't understand him. I think he's a load of old pony. He doesn't have the look of a Man United striker. He's just not all that at all. Now the ownership, it looks like it's between Qatar, no, sick of mouth as I say that, and Jim Radcliffe. Yeah, my guy. And you won't hear this on the far top red channel. I would rather bring in Radcliffe than get the Saudis in. Even better than that, I would rather keep the Glazers than get the Saudis. I don't like what the Saudis symbolise. I don't like the human rights record. They spring a leak in their own country. They use blood money. We Manchester and Man United don't need a sugar daddy to bankroll this football club. We just don't. We earn our money organically and not by unfair means. If you live in Qatar, as a woman, you're treated as a second-class citizen. If you're gay, it's illegal to be gay in their countries. And they execute you in their countries if you're gay, and they also do that to journalists. 2 journalists that went over to the World Cup never came home. There was a guy wearing a rainbow t-shirt. He never came home either. Nobody saw him after that. I'll let you draw your own conclusions. So yeah, I don't want the Saudis. Because I don't like them. Everything that they do is sycophantical. It's not right. Bankrolled by a country with a human rights record. Get in the bin. I don't want them at Man United Football Club. And the only reason that some of the YouTubers want them is because they can get freebies. And do you want to know why, ladies and gentlemen? Because the slaves built the stadiums, and it's a low estimate of how many of the slaves were killed in Qatar. It's an underestimate. The real figure is ginormous. It really is. We have to be aware of what's going on there. You know, it's not a safe haven. It just isn't. So bring me Radcliffe or keep the Glazers. Anything other than them lot. So there you go. How about that? Now, the team I'm going to pick against for Barcelona. The Haven goal, the low right back, Malacia, left back. I'm not picking Porky. And also Varane and Martinez is back after a ban from the last game against Barcelona. Midfield 3, Casemiro, Sabitzer, Bruno, I suppose. Up front, Rashford, Sancho, Anthony getting back in form, which is important. And also, I'll give Garnacho a go, because I'll be generous with that, hospitable. And I would drop Weghorst. Actually, I wouldn't have him in the squad at all, to be honest. How about that? So that's the team I've picked. I think this will go the distance. I know we shouldn't have it because we've got the Newcastle game on the horizon, but I think it will go the distance. I think it will be extra time. Maybe penalty kicks. There's no away goals in the competition, which is annoying. I would have liked away goals. You know, it takes away the jeopardy by taking it out of there. So, yeah, I think we'll just about scrape through on penalty kicks, but I don't think there's going to be one in the 90 minutes, which we hope it is, because we don't want to, be even more tired, having an extra 30 minutes. We've got a cup final on the horizon on Sunday, and I'm not going to gloat about Newcastle yet. Let's come out of this game unscathed, with no injuries, and progress to the next round, and then we can think about Newcastle. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you after the final on Sunday, where hopefully, fingers crossed, as it stands in the time of this recording, that we win the trophy and make not the Scouse cry this time round, but the Geordies.